All right, I believe we are live. Hey everyone, it's Lynn here, business intuitive mentor and copy queen. And today I'm here to talk to you about the 3 levels of desire. This is something I end up speaking about to just about anyone, whether they've hopped on for my message clarity call or they are a current client and we're trying to really up level their copy when it comes to their offers and the content that they're sharing out into onto social media or on their blogs. And it's really important to distinguish when we're talking about what it is that your client really wants. Now, I did a webinar a couple of weeks ago and I shared a brand new framework that I put together, which is called the 4 P's of value creation. Those 4 P's are your person, so your ideal client, their problem, so the problem that they are currently experiencing. The third one is what I call the promised land, which is what we're going to be talking about today. So the promised land is what is it that they desire? What is it that they want? And the fourth piece is your process. So how do you take them from where they currently are experiencing their problem to where they want to be? So their promised land. So today we're going to be actually talking about that P, which is the promised land. So this is how I talk about your clients' wants and their desires. And I'm going to be talking today about the 3 different levels that you need to get clear in your own head so that when you are writing your sales pages, you are sharing content on social media, you are referencing these 3 levels on a very regular basis. So you need to have them clear in your head first, of course, in order to be able to talk about them naturally and in all of your content and your copy. So as I go along, if you've got any questions, please do let me know. Drop them in the comments. And of course, if you're watching this on the replay and you have a question, I really love questions. It's really a pleasure for me to answer them. So drop them into the comments. Make sure to tag me so I don't miss it. And I will come back and answer those. Also, what's it called? The webinar I ran a couple of weeks ago is called Message Makeover, how to move your offers from from maybe to must have. So if you are interested in that, I've got it all set up. I can send you the link for you to watch. So just drop me a DM or give me a thumbs up in the comments if you'd like the link to that webinar. So back to the promised land. So if you think about it, like if you think about something that you are looking for a solution to right now, it could be like a better relationship. You could be like, I want to have more sales in my business or whatever it is it might be. Okay. So if you think about it from your perspective, sometimes it's easier to grasp this if you're still feeling a bit wishy-washy in your head about what is it my ideal client really, really wants. So right now you have a problem. So what do you think the thing is you need to solve it? This is the first level of the promised land. It's what I call, it's the tangible result. So this is the first thing. So number 1 is your tangible result. So if I'm looking for, say for instance, I've got really dirty carpets and I'm like, my problem is I really can't stand to look at those carpets. There are some stains there. I just wish they would be gone, right? So what do I feel like is going to solve that problem? Someone who's got a machine that can clean those carpets, okay? So that's my tangible result. I'm looking for somebody to come in, clean my carpets, and they are clean. Those spots are no longer there for me to look at and be annoyed by, right? So that's an example of a tangible result. When clients come to me to work with me, one of the things, the tangible results that they want is they want to understand copywriting techniques. So that's a really tangible thing that they're like, oh, if only I knew how to do that copywriting technique business, I'd be able to write better copy. Okay, but the tangible result they're looking for is copywriting techniques. So another thing that people might come to me for is they're looking for, God, I just wish I could be consistent with my marketing. Like, I just wish I had a content plan so I knew why I'm writing, what I'm writing, and where I'm posting it. So the tangible thing that they're looking for is a content plan that's going to solve those problems that they have. So what might it be for your client? So have a think right now. What might it be that your client is looking to experience a tangible result in? So this is the first level that we're talking about. What's the tangible result you offer, or you know that they are looking for when it comes to the problem that you solve? So it could be things like you create somebody a nutrition and meal plan. That's a really tangible outcome if somebody was to come and work with you, okay? So if you are in the relationship field, it could be that you teach them communication techniques that make them feel expressed and heard by their partner. So that tangible result is I give you, or you give them, communication techniques or frameworks, as an example. So these tangible results are things that people could learn. They might master them. It might be a mindset shift or a breakthrough. It could be those tangible takeaways I've mentioned in terms of my own business, so a content plan or copywriting techniques. So what might that be for your business? What tangible results would you be delivering? And you can think about this in terms of when you start working with somebody one-to-one, or when somebody joins your program, or when somebody buys your course, or they invest in your product. What is the first thing that they receive or take away or learn or digest or shift? So what is it that they're going, oh my gosh, I did this and it was amazing? So that is the first level, which I call tangible, the tangible result. They are tangible because they're very specific. People could like walk away with them, maybe not practically, literally, but they can very much define what it is they receive. So that's the tangible result. Then we move on to the second level. So the second level is what's called the desired outcome. So when we receive a tangible result, when we're Googling for something that we need, which is a tangible result, like so the other day I got ads all about this 7-minute fitness routine that was going to tone my body, and I'm looking to get fit again, right? So I was like, oh, great, that's going to solve my problem. And the very first, and it spoke to my desired outcome. It says, do this 7-minute program and you will, over time, tone your body. So this is the desired outcome that we're talking about here, right? So I want to learn their 7-minute workout, which is the tangible thing, the tangible result that I take away. I learn a 7-minute workout. Why do I want that? Because I want to get fit and toned again, right? That's my desired outcome. So the tangible result is always related to the desired outcome. And this is the part where a lot of people get confused when they're writing their sales copy, because they're like, oh, you know what I mean? Like they get confused about do I write about this one or do I write about that one? But they're actually in relation. They're in relationship, your tangible result and your desired outcome. So what was the other example that I used? When we want to figure out what is the desired outcome, the simple question to ask ourselves is, why do I want that tangible result? It is really that simple. We always want the tangible takeaway for a reason. Why do I want to learn a 7-minute workout? Because I want to get fit and toned in 7 minutes a day. We'll see if that's actually possible. I'm unsure about that, but I'm willing to give it a go. And so, for instance, why do people want a content plan? So that would be a tangible takeaway from working with me. Why do you want a content plan? Because they want to be consistent in their marketing so they can reach more people, right? So the desired outcome is I want to attract more clients. I want to reach more people. That's why they want it. Okay. So think about it in relation to your business. So we've talked about the first level, which is the tangible result. Why does your client want that? Why do they want that? What is the desired outcome? What do they think having that tangible result, takeaway, new learning, understanding, framework, whatever it is, what do they think it's going to give them that they want? Okay, so you can hopefully you can see we're stepping here. So the tangible result is the thing that they might Google. It could be a skill. It could be a new modality. It could be a framework. It could be a blueprint, a business plan. So the thing that they think, what is it, that tangible result? Why do they want it? So it's a step towards something. Why do they want that? And then that is your desired outcome. So that's the second level. And when you're writing copy for your sales page or you're referencing things in your content, it's really important to talk about those two things together. So as an example, if I'm talking about a webinar, I'll say you'll learn this so you can that. You will discover X so that you can Y. Really good framework to use so many times. So it's really important to make sure you join those dots for your ideal client, which means you need to be uber clear on what these elements are so you can speak to them and have real resonance with your audience when they're reading about your office. They're like, oh my God, I want that. I've been trying to figure that out myself, but oh great, I want that. And yes, I want it because it's going to give me that. So that's a really simple framework. So you could look at your programs, you could look at your one-to-one offers, you could look at your freebies and double check, am I using this format, this simple copywriting formula? You're going to receive this, you're going to discover this, you're going to learn that, you're going to master this, so you can do this, so you can be that, so you can achieve this, so you can grow your business, you can hit your first 10K month, you can have the intimate connected relationship that you desire. So we've got to know these two elements in order to clearly articulate the value of what we deliver inside our programs and our one-to-one work. So that's the first two levels. They're the ones we rely on the most. So in terms of when I'm writing copy, they're the two things that I am talking about the most. And then we have the third level. So just to recap, the first level is the tangible result. The second level is your desired outcome. And the third level is the big vision. It's really important to have this one in here because we all have a vision. So when I talk about the promised land, I talk about so you enter into the promised land, which is the realm of results and desired outcomes. And on the horizon, so all the way at the other side of the promised land on the horizon is the big dream. So this is the vision that pulls your people forward. It's the thing that in their heart, they're like, oh, that's what I really want. That's what I'm really working towards. So your tangible result and your desired outcome, they are steps along the way to the big vision. It's important to know what that looks like for your ideal client because, of course, if we're saying we can help them along the path, one of the ways we can build that trust and that connection and their belief in us as someone who can deliver the solution is by helping them to understand we know where you want to go. We know what's at the other side of the promised land. We know what's on the horizon that you are trying to reach. For my clients, there's a range. I have heard many times their big vision of being like a sought after speaker, standing on stages, speaking to thousands of people, and being that beacon and that sought after speaker in their field. So that's one I have heard a lot. I've got a couple of business buddies, and they're like, my big vision is to have $1 million business so I can retire my husband and spend more time with my kids. Like, that's the big vision whilst I'm in service, through my business. So that big vision is the dream of their lifestyle, or what they get to achieve in their business, the impact that they get to have, the legacy they get to leave. It's about the big difference usually for the women that I work with. So in your industry or the people you work with, it might be different. It might be, it might be that they want to be financially free. It could be that they want to develop, enough passive income that they can work part-time and spend more time with their family. So whatever you're in, it might be that they want to live the healthiest, most vital retirement, years of their life in retirement. So it's figuring out for yourself, what is that when it comes to my ideal client? So if you're watching this or you're watching it on replay, I'd really love to hear, and I'm really happy to give feedback. So if you're like, I'm not sure, does this feel like a tangible result, Lynn? Does this look like a desired outcome? And definitely use that. You'll learn this so you can have that. So use that framework if you want to post something below. And then what is the big vision? What is that for your ideal client? So in sales copy, that is a piece we definitely want to put in there, because again, we need to be illustrating that we understand where our ideal client is coming from, but also where they're really wanting to go. And that's one of the ways that we create resonant copy, because we are speaking to a specific ideal client. So my ideal client is going to have different tangible results that they're looking for to you. They're going to have different desired outcomes to you, and they're going to have a different vision to you. So the way that we really hone in, we become beacons, our copy becomes a beacon to our clients, is because we are speaking to their specific experience and all these three levels. So we're not just going in at a one-dimensional level. Are you looking for some copy tips or copy techniques? We're going in at, you want these because you want to be able to express the value of your work so your ideal client really resonates with it. And you want that because ultimately you're here to create an impact business. I know you are here to serve and create a big impact, speaking in front of big audiences, working with thousands of people in your programs. And that is the unique frame for my ideal client. So have a play with what is yours. And a quick caveat or a quick side note on the tangible result is that you can have multiple tangible results. So I gave you a couple of examples from my own business earlier, and you might have multiple too. It is likely you'll have multiple, and that's great, because then you get to talk about all of these different tangible results that someone receives through working with you. You get to relate them to the desired outcome or outcomes that they are after, and then help them see how it fits into the big vision of where they're ultimately wanting to go with their business, their relationship, their health, or their life. So what we've been talking about is the 3 levels of client desire. So again, that first one is the tangible results, specific, tangible takeaways they get from working with you. The next level is the desired outcome. Why do I want that tangible result? Because it's going to give me a desired outcome. So you want to make sure you're connecting those two together. And then ultimately, what are those 2 steps in aid of? my big vision, the thing I am working towards, the thing that feels like my destiny, or just what I am here to do. However, your ideal client or you speak about it in your business. So let me know how this lands. Which of those three do you feel like you need to do some work on when it comes to your own copy? Do you have any questions about the 3 levels, or do you want to share some examples from your business in the comments? Because if you do, I will give you some feedback. So utilize me, friends. Put it in there and I can give you some feedback and how to make it even juicier for your own copy and writing on your sales pages and connecting to your ideal client. So speaking of writing copy for connection and conversion, I'm running another webinar in about 2 weeks that is exactly that. I'm going to be sharing some specific copy hacks for better connection and conversion. It's going to be a short webinar, 45 minutes max. We're going to dive straight into the techniques that I'm going to be sharing with you, and I'll put that link in the copy above this if you want to come and join me for that. I think it's on the 30th of August by rough memory. So let me know if you have any questions. Thanks for watching, and I look forward to seeing you again soon. Bye for now.